If you've ever been in an accident or got a ticket, then you could call my dad because he is amazing. In Missouri, call all threes, and in Illinois, call all eights. And remember, if you can't come to us, we'll always come to you.
My name is Susie McClellan. I am a medical secretary at Children's Hospital. I came to Brown & Brown because I was in a car accident on Highway 44. I was coming home from work. The next thing I know, someone hit me from behind, and it felt like a bomb went off in the back of my car. I can't tell you how disappointed I was after the accident. I was actually forewarned on the accident scene by the policeman that this was probably not going to be favorable, just the way insurance companies handle things. But I did not believe him because I had been with my insurance agency since I was 16 years old. And the police officer, unfortunately, was right. Basically, they told me, even though this lady hit me from behind, it was not her fault. To be honest, I was very nervous about having to call a lawyer or deal with a lawyer with a car accident since I've never had that experience. I spoke with Dan Brown personally. He answered the phone, and he really just explained to me what Brown & Brown could do for me and how they can help protect me. And I really just wanted to be protected. They offered to come to my home. I was still a little woozy from some of the medications they gave me at the hospital because I underwent some testing. They dealt personally with the insurance companies. And that is something that I did not want to do since the insurance company was not on my side. I want to say that Brown & Brown renewed my faith that there are people out there that will help you, that will protect your interest, and they don't just look out for themselves.
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, but nothing but the truth, so help me God. My name is Daniel Brown. I work with my brother Red, and he's my partner, and I work with my brother Bill. He's our paralegal, so it is kind of a family environment. I grew up in Spanish Lake. It's a community in North County. My childhood was basically a normal childhood. We had a lot of kids in our neighborhood, and a lot of union workers, and a lot of teachers. And this is a great place to grow up. It really was. Growing up, I had three brothers. My oldest brother Ed, he's the one with the eye patch. Bill, who works at the firm with us, and Greg, he's the youngest brother. He lives in Chicago. My mom is still alive, and then we have my father. We lost my father. Oh my goodness, it's been 17 years ago. But we all get together and like to have some fun. So, believe it or not, we all still get along.
It was a nice, easy, middle-class upbringing. It was a good time to grow up. Had a lot of good memories of fishing in Spanish Lake. My dad worked at IBM. He worked there till he retired for about 30 years. My mom taught school. She was a kindergarten teacher at Larimore School. And we just ran around like boys do. We had a place called the Tunnel that we would hang out because it was a nice place to escape the adults. We built tree houses, and we played football, basketball. I remember baseball, playing quite a bit of baseball. We'd play in our backyard. We had a big backyard.
Growing up with three brothers was experience for my mom because she had 4 boys in 5 years. But my pop, he had I don't think a stressful job, but he worked at IBM all his life. He was a naval officer beforehand, and I just remember him taking us on vacations, and it must have been difficult for him. 4 screaming young boys fighting, putting boogers on each other's hair and that kind of stuff. And here he is. He should be happy. He should be happy on the vacation, but instead, I'm sure it was probably more stressful. At the end of the vacation, he's probably happy to get back to his job, saying, "Oh my gosh, that was horrible." But they were very patient with us.
Dan and Ed, and also Bill and Greg, all of them were smart growing up. They made good grades in school, and teachers liked them. They joined a lot of things. They were real joiners. Growing up years, you have your ups and downs, put it that way. ups and downs. Maybe we had more ups than downs with them. But they all turned out wonderful, and the Brown and Brown law firm is just wonderful that they have it. So, what can I say? Life is good. Life is good.
My name is Dennis Cazell, and I was a student at the University of Missouri at St. Louis. I was doing pretty good. I had a very good GPA, 4.0. Everything was going well until one day I went to the bookstore to get some books, and I got into an altercation with another gentleman. I assume because I'm a Bosnian and I have an accent, and I also have a Marine Corps tattoo on me. Well, he saw the Marine Corps tattoo and he heard the accent, and he assumed that I'm not an American. So we got into an argument, and it went outside, and we got into a fight. And I believe I got charged with an assault, and I believe I got charged because I'm a Bosnian. A friend of mine recommended Ed Brown, and as soon as I was locked up, I was in jail when I saw Mr. Brown the first time, and it gave me confidence that everything's going to be okay. I could see when he walked in a courtroom that actually the prosecutors were intimidated from him. Once we went to court, and once the prosecutor saw what Ed Brown did to his witness, I mean, he knew exactly which questions to ask and knew exactly what to do to get my case dismissed, and he did. And he got it dismissed. He got my life back for me, and I have no record, nothing ever happened. He made everything go away, and I'm extremely thankful to him for that.
I graduated college from University of Missouri Columbia. I had no desire in undergrad or even post-undergrad of becoming a lawyer. I obtained a job at a facility called Janelco, a great place to work, great people, and I worked there for about 3.5 years. So I started thinking to myself, I said, look, do I really want to be staring at computer screens all day? And one day I'm driving down 170, which had just opened, and all of a sudden I'm blinking and I see these orange flashes coming into my brain. I'm like, what the heck is this? And the next day I go back to work, and I told some of my buddies about it. I said, man, last night is the weirdest thing. I had these orange splashes. And he said, we have them too. I said, what do you mean you have them? Dan, you're gonna get these. That's from staring at the screen all day. We all got it. Get used to it. And I said, I don't know if I want to but like getting used to asbestos. I don't know if I want to get used to asbestos. I don't know what it's gonna do to me. So then I made a decision. If my brother could do it, I think I could do it.
I was always interested in the law. I really enjoyed all my classes. I took business law in college. University of Missouri, Columbia. I majored in accounting, and which I rarely use anymore. I always enjoyed reading about Abe Lincoln and Clarence Darrow and some of the great figures in American law. At 4 a.m, and you're studying for a contracts exam, and you have no idea if you're studying the right material, and you're in your third big gulp of coffee and wired like crazy. Yeah, sure, doubts go through your mind, but I bowled through it. You're going to wind up somewhere. If you get on a road, you're going to wind up somewhere on that road, and it's just a matter of where you wind up. I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing today, but my first job out of college was as an accountant, Brown Shoe Company. I decided I didn't want to be a corporate person my whole life. I knew right then it wasn't really for me, so I wanted to do something more allied with my talents, and law school seemed to be much more something I enjoyed, and it's worked out.
I attended law school at St. Louis University School of Law. In our class, about 25 to 30% of the class would flunk out. So when people would say, hey, let's go to Humphreys and have some beer, come on, Brown, come on over and join us, I'd say, no, you know what, not tonight. So I knew when to go and have fun but I was mature enough to know, hey, look, I better get the studies in, I better pay my dues so that I can obtain a degree to provide me with a profession.
Yeah, Mizzou was a great place to go to college. Worked a little bit in the cafeterias there. I used to donate plasma. You would get $8 every time you donated plasma. I could do it twice a week. So they give you $10 for the second time you donate. So I would do that. I have a little spending money. I remember going to the Kentucky Fried Chicken on Providence with a little bit of my hard-earned wages from sitting in a chair and squeezing a rubber ball for an hour. I went to St. Louis University. Enjoyed it. We used to go to Humphreys, and back then it was a place called Clark's. It was they were both on Laclede, and so I got a good education in human nature at some of the places around SLU Law School.
After graduating St. Louis University Law School, my first job was with the City of Chicago Prosecuting Attorney's Office. I knew I made the right decision because it was all trial work. I learned how to think on my feet. I learned how to cross-examine people. I learned direct examination. And I learned these valuable tools so I can apply them today. Today, you better show the insurance companies you mean business. How's that? Well, if you're banged up in an auto accident or hurt on the job, you want to show the insurance companies that you're not afraid to take it all the way. There's a lot of law firms out there, I know it. But a lot of them, what they want to do is treat you as a churn you out. Another settlement, take this settlement. And they don't try any cases. We're not afraid to try cases. We're not afraid to take them to court. Now, I know a lot of people out there that are thinking, look, I don't want to go to court. Sure you don't. But you better choose an attorney that will back you up if the insurance companies jerk you around. And once the insurance companies know that we'll haul them into court, they'll be more apt to give what you're entitled to. One of the things that we do at Brown & Brown is that when we say we'll come to you, we'll come to you. And for example, right now it's Saturday and it's 2 o'clock, and here I am at a medical facility to come out to meet with the clients. And unfortunately, somebody was badly hurt in a car accident. And what we're doing here is explaining to the clients their options and how we can help them. And like it or not, this is what we do. And so I will say it again, if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. If you go to an attorney and the attorney says, hey, I need a retainer for a personal injury case, I just say use some caution. Most good personal injury law firms, they'll put their money where their mouth is. And being that we advance all the costs of the case. If we're not successful, we eat the cost. So just remember when picking your law firm, make sure that they have trial experience, make sure that they're willing to take your case to court, and make sure that they advance all the costs of the case. And then if you don't collect anything, that the firm is out the money. That gives us a stake, not only in our desire to help people, but it gives you more of a stake in the cause of action to prevail and win for your client.
My name is Jasmine Sada. I'm owner for a jewelry store. I have a business. I was with my friend and someone beat my friend's car from the back. When I had that accident, I was really depressed, and also my back hurt and I had a headache and kind of depressed also. My friends told me when they heard I had that accident, and then they told me you need to go meet with Brown & Brown, and they gave me the phone numbers. And I called and they come into my house and we explained like face to face everything, and that's it. When I come to the office, most of the time they help me. When he was not available, then his employee and another attorney helped me. It's a pleasure. It's a really good experience, yeah. I recommend for my friends and anyone else, if you guys have any car accident and injury, just call Brown & Brown.
My name is Anna Mazzola, and I am the accountant here at Brown & Brown. On a daily basis, I do the settlement checks for clients and close out their files. The atmosphere here at Brown & Brown is very relaxed, I would say, and fun. We'll have the cards game on in the rec room, just hang out, have fun. There's beer and soda and snacks in the kitchen, so, we just are laid back here and just a lot of fun. Working for a family business, you would think that there might be a lot of tension in the office sometimes, but I've never experienced that here at Brown & Brown. Dan Brown is a very funny character. He has a lot of humor and he's a lot of fun to work with. When people come in and get their checks, they're happy to meet with Dan. They like meeting with him and getting their money. Ed Brown is a lot of fun. He comes and goes in the office, but when he is in, he's just a pleasure, and he's done a couple of things for me, for tickets and things like that. So I would definitely recommend anyone who needs help with tickets or personal injury cases to come to Brown & Brown. Ask for Dan Brown personally.
Growing up in Spanish Lake, the one thing we did do was we went to a lot of concerts, rock concerts, Black Sabbath, Jethro Tull, The Who, you name it, I've seen them. But tickets were a lot cheaper back then. They were like $3, $4, and $5. And I used to cut grass. So literally, I would cut like 3 yards, and then I'd have enough money to buy these tickets. The best concert I ever saw, I will say, it was Led Zeppelin. It was April 15th, 1977. I got their poster up on the wall. They would only sell tickets at the arena. It's not like today where you can get on the internet and purchase tickets. So we took a day off school to go down to their concert. But we had to get our parents' permission. It'd be like kind of weird. It'd be like my daughters today saying, Dad, I got to skip school to go get Hannah Montana tickets or something like that. I'd be like, who's Hannah Montana? What? You got to be nuts. But my parents, they're good parents, and they allowed us going down there. And at Hazelwood East, no matter what, if you missed a day of school, you needed a note. So I went up to my mom, and I said, Mom, I need a note to go to school tomorrow. And she goes, well, what should I write? I said, just tell them I wasn't feeling well or something. So anyway, she said, the note she put down, please excuse Dan for being absent yesterday. He had to stand in line for Led Zeppelin tickets. And I gotta tell you, I took it on in there, gave it to the staff, they looked at it and cracked up. But they said, you know what, a note's a note. That's legit.
Something about me that most people don't know is I'm an amateur musician. I try to keep my hand in it. I play in a band called Daybreak with my friends Dave Dallas and Mike Dallas, the brothers. I sang and played guitar and bass and whatever else they needed. I would like, if I weren't an attorney, I think I'd be an over-the-road trucker. Yeah. I think that'd be fun. Yeah, I think just over-the-road trucker going from city to city. I think that's kind of interesting life. I would really enjoy seeing America that way. I always tell this story. This is funny. My first case involved this guy. His name was Buster. He was gigantic. He looked like he could play linebacker for the Green Bay Packers tomorrow. And Buster was a little violent. Buster was somebody that liked to break things, including people. So when Buster came to court, they had to tie him down to a gurney. They would have him strapped down, and he came in the courtroom yelling and screaming and angry as hell that he was strapped to this gurney. And here is my job to argue that this guy's not a risk to anybody while he's strapped down screaming and yelling at the judge. Well, the best part's yet to come. The judge, I'm making my argument that, despite what it looks like, Buster's really a nice guy, and his mom loves him, and he's just a heart of gold. He's mean on the outside, but on the inside he's all mush. And right then Buster yelled, "I don't want this clown as my lawyer." And the judge looks at him and says, "Well, who would you like as your attorney?" He says, "I want Sandra Day O'Connor as my lawyer." And the judge says, "Well, unfortunately, Miss O'Connor is unavailable right now. But if you would like another attorney," and right then I stops the judge, "if he wants a new lawyer, I'm more than happy to withdraw and have a new attorney enter his appearance on this case."
You asked me about lunch boxes. Well, I started collecting those a long time ago. Actually, what happened was, in my mom's basement, I found my brother Ed's Partridge Family lunchbox. And I said, whoa. And then I found a Bobby Sherman lunchbox for 4 boys. I'm not sure which one had a Bobby Sherman lunchbox, but you probably would have gotten beat up even in 3rd grade for bringing a Bobby Sherman lunchbox. And then we had other lunchboxes. So I said, hey, you know what? They're not doing anything downstairs, so I put them up on the display. Then I just started building my lunchbox collection, and then before you know it, I had 60 lunchboxes. I like the thrill of finding something, a buried treasure. Some of my buddies say, Dan, that's kind of pathetic. Why don't you grow up? Why don't you throw away your toys? But hey, look, I enjoy it. So if I enjoy it, the heck with them.
Well, it was 7 years ago when I called Dan Brown. I had some legal questions for him, and he just asked me if I want to work for him, and I said yes, and that's how I started. I'm a legal assistant, pretty much everything, taking calls, talking to insurance company, to clients, mail, pretty much everything. Mr. Brown is her boss. He's really nice, so I like work with him. Ed is nice too. I don't see him that much because he's in court a lot. It's really nice. I like it. It's like we're like family. It gets pretty busy, and yes, it is fun working here. If I knew somebody needs an attorney, I would refer them to Dan and Ed Brown because they're really good.
We filmed 10 years ago, and if you recall, and we'll show you, my 3 daughters at the time. And they're cute, and it was a great time of your life because they're totally reliant upon you and not a care in the world. And I remember saying, what am I going to do when they get older? What are they going to do when they're 15, 17, and boys start lurking around? Help, because guess what? The time has come. Here they are now. What am I going to do? Help me out, please. And if you're a young man, watch your manners around my daughters. I mean it.
I enjoy doing things with my daughter. She likes to fish, so we fish as often as we can. This is my daughter Anastasia and my mom's granddaughter Anastasia, and she's in 5th grade. 6th grade.
I'm going in 6th.
Oh, 6th grade, excuse me. And where are you going?
St. Ambrose.
So how'd you do in 5th grade? How'd you like it?
It was hard.
It was a lot harder than 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What subjects do you like the best?
Lunch.
Lunch.
I don't want to be a lawyer when I grow up. I want to be a veterinarian. I have about 4 dogs. Well, I have 4 dogs, 2 cats, and 2 things called sugar bears. The sugar bears are from Australia, and they're smart. And my dog Brownie, we just got him back yesterday. I also like to fish, but I don't like to eat the fish. Sometimes I let them back, and sometimes I give them to my mom to eat. Me and my dad usually go to David Buster's for fun. And we also go to Ted Drew's. That's our #1 ice cream place. And also Gelato di Riso. Yeah, me and my dad have a lot of fun together.
1, 2, 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and crackers. I don't care if I never get back. And root, root, root for the Cardinals. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause there's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. My mom still remains the same. I will assure you that. And we're pleased that she's still around. She's still driving, which is good for somebody her age. Sorry, Mom, I had to put that in there. Self-sufficient and rambunctious as ever. Well, here we are 9 years later with our beloved mother in front of the same old Haskell Park. Mom, you haven't changed a bit.
Thank you.
And we're excited to be back at my mom's childhood home.
It's just wonderful to be sitting here thinking about so many things. Backing the car out of this driveway many times after I learned to drive. And when I was little, roller skating these sidewalks up and down, getting to know all the neighbors, waving to them, watching my dad cut this grass. He kept a perfect yard here. He really did enjoy this yard. My parents always had a dog. A family dog was a big part of my life growing up. My dad died in 1984 while living here, and my mother died in 1985 while living here. So they were longtime residents of 1110 Liberty Street.
Well, here we are at Haskell's Park, and a lot of fond memories here, and guess what? It's still an active place. That's really what's nice. The kids, generation after generations come here. So, here we are. I'm here with my brother, Ed. What memories do you have of Haskell Park?
Oh, I have a lot of memories. I remember the old fire engine that we would climb all over, and we'd throw rocks in the radiator, and we'd come over here and we'd climb on everything. We'd climb on things we weren't supposed to climb on. Climb on top of the swings, the metal bars on the swings, and yeah, like Dan said, it's still a nice park, and people bring their dogs, and we brought our dog, Otis. He's a member of the family too. Yeah, this was a very nice place to grow up. Very just friendly, everybody. Just a nice neighborhood place. It's been here 100 years, and it'll be here 100 more.
Like I've said before, we grew up in St. Louis, but we consider Alton our second home. And it's a great environment, great place to raise a family, and it's a beautiful day. What more can you ask for?
This is now Duke's Bakery on the corner of East 9th and Henry Streets in Alton. My grandfather and his brother bought this piece of property in about 1898 and started Staub's Brothers Grocery Store here. For deliveries from here, they used a horse and buggy. Horse and buggy.
Dukes, if you're ever willing to sell, we'd like to put it back in our family, okay?
Brown & Brown is unique because I think we provide the perfect balance of people and the law. I think we know the law very well. We're experienced with, we know everybody, and yet at the same time we like people. You know, if somebody tells me I'm not a people person, I think I just have to say right off the bat, well, we don't have any giraffes working here. We don't have any lions, no dogs or cats. It's all people. If you're not a people person, then you probably should be in a different profession, because everything we do here is about people.
In the last 10 years, we've gone from a law firm of probably about 12 people to 30. I fully anticipate in the next 10 years to keep building upon that.
I read a good book one time. It talked about improving 1% every day. If you do that with compounding, you'll be 4 times better in a year and about 100 times better in a decade. So if you just get 1% better at what you do every single day, just keep improving, you'd be shocked at what you can accomplish in certainly a year and definitely 10 years.
You know, at Brown & Brown, I will toot our horn a little bit. This is our 7 generations of people, our family from St. Louis. We've been here for a long time. We're going to stay. We're not going anywhere.
You get to like everybody here, and you know you're being well represented because we work hard and we do a good job for people. We go the extra mile.
It's critical to pick and choose your attorney carefully. There's a lot of us out there, and I know that. But nobody's going to work harder on your case than us, and no one's going to do a better job taking care of you from beginning to end. When you call, you can always talk with me. Hey, Dan Brown, I'd like to speak with Dan Brown. And you can feel confident that your case is going to be handled diligently, responsibly, and courteously from beginning to end.
And we make house calls. We send people out to sign you up. We'll come to you. That's our slogan. It's not just a slogan, it's who we are.